75 to 80% of all accidents on the mountain happen when you're descending the route. That's huge. In today's video, we're looking at what we can do to minimize this number and make ourselves safer on the mountains. My name's Chris. Welcome to Train to Summit. This huge number happens because we're more tired and less focused after stressing our bodies for hours on end during the ascent. Walking downhill is a very tricky activity in which you constantly have to decelerate your body. You use one limb to help decelerate you and another one to absorb impact. It's easy then to see how the lower leg has the highest rate of incidence, with the ankle being the most injured body part during descents. If you're not strong enough to do this decelerating movement, especially when you got 15 kilos on your back, then it's easy to land badly and roll an ankle on descent. We need to get you stronger and better at slowing yourself down. And we're gonna do this by getting you stronger at eccentrics. Let me explain. There are a few terms used to describe movement in a muscle. These are isometric and isotonic. So isometric means holding a position like a plank or a squat hold, in which your muscles have to produce force to hold you in that position. And then we have isotonic movements. These are two different categories of muscle movement: concentric and eccentric. Let's take the bicep curl as an example. A concentric movement is when my muscle shortens, so when my forearm comes up. And an eccentric movement is when my muscle lengthens in response to the weight. Here's an example of an eccentric phase in different exercises. It's this eccentric phase that we want to get stronger at. But how are we gonna do this? If I'm ever gonna impart any sort of knowledge on you guys, is this: tempo is key. So what is tempo? Tempo is the speed at which you move during an exercise. We use 4 numbers to read or program tempo when we do an exercise. And this is how you read it. Let's take the squat exercise and the number 4, 2, 3, 0 as an example. So the first number, 4, is gonna be our eccentric phase. Here we have to lower ourselves down for 4 seconds. Then we're gonna hold 2 seconds at the bottom. Then we have our concentric phase, in which you come up during 3 seconds. Then there's no hold at the top, back into the 4-second eccentric on the descent. That lowering phase is what we want to get good at, to be able to slow ourselves down when we're going downhill. A good place to start with your tempo training is by using a slower tempo on your lower body exercises, starting with a 3-second tempo and in time moving to a 4 or even a 5-second tempo on the eccentric, so on that lowering phase of every rep. You don't have to include a slow tempo for every single exercise in your training program, but it should be there for at least half of the work that you're doing. And finally, let's talk about some exercises that will help you in getting stronger to be able to perform these decelerating movements. The step up is a great starting exercise to train the eccentric phase of a unilateral movement. The box pistol squat exercise is similar to when you're stepping downhill while facing forward and teaches you on how to decelerate in this direction. The static side lunge works well to teach you on how to absorb impact to the opposite limb while also slowing yourself down in the process. Using eccentrics on calf raises is great for strengthening the lower leg. Adding weight to the squat exercise gets you used to handling higher resistances while training the lowering phase of the movement.